Oggi negli studi di EMA Web International
Hello from EMA Web TV.
Ivano Valmori, CEO di Image Line. Benvenuto.
We are here with Ivano Valmori from Image Line. We'd like to talk about data in agriculture. Are you collecting data? How are you using them? Well, the world of data in agriculture, which is actually the foundation of digital agriculture, dates back to 35 to 40 years ago, when the first data banks were set up on the use of agricultural chemicals. And we established this company called Image Line that since 1988 has collected data for farmers. What does that mean exactly? Collecting data on agriculture means collecting data that can be used on the field and throughout the chain in order to communicate everything that is being done, thereby guaranteeing transparency to consumers. If we start from the farm is surrounded by data. Do you know how many fruit species are grown in Italy? 349 different crops are grown in Italy in 20 different regions. Each one of these regions have their own different regulations. So if you multiply 350 times 20 regions, you understand how many different ways of growing crops can be found. So a huge amount of data which are either managed by the farmer's head and they're not able to have a dialogue with everyone and tell what they're doing on the farm, or the IT and the digital technology can help them do that. We need data to decide what to do on the field, and here we of course have decision-making support systems, knowing when to treat, to irrigate, to harvest and fertilize crops when the time comes to perform operations on the field depending on weather conditions. So these 350 crops in Italy, long and narrow country with different climate conditions and different types of soil, generate a huge biodiversity which has to be collected and documented through IT and digital technology. And I imagine that thanks to this data, quality can be improved absolutely, and we can ensure food safety for final consumers. And final consumers over the last few years are much more aware of what they eat and what they consume, and the only way to know that, what you're eating and putting into your body, is establishing a trust relationship between the farmers and the final consumers. So create this link, and thanks to the digital technology now this is possible. Don't forget that a regulation is about to be issued whereby starting next year whatever's done by a farm must be traceable, and this documentation must be included in the farm records, which enables all farmers to receive funding. So starting from next year, if a farmer wants to have access to CAP funds and different incentives provided by the government and the EU, they have to demonstrate what their projects are and also include the log data in their farm records. In Italy, 1 million hectares are managed by using this procedure, which is www.quadernodicampagna.it. So when you have this logbook, 70% of the national land will be digitalized. So this data collection is extremely important in order to fully understand how agriculture works and the whole chain. Thank you very much for joining us. Keep up the good work. Thank you for having me.